another thought on evil. So review, just did a video on Romans 9:22 and 23, where God talks about creating vessels of wrath prepared for destruction. In Isaiah 45:7, we see that the Lord actually created evil. And then in 25:41, we see that hell was created for the devil and his angels. So, and then in the last video, I talked about how just because God created evil doesn't mean that he is evil or responsible for evil. And I just wanted to throw out another thought about evil, is that it's us saying yes to evil that actually produces evil on this earth. The evil that we see and experience is really coming from other people who are choosing that, and then it can be empowered by spiritual forces of evil, but they've got to say yes to that in order for that to happen. So there is a choice there where they can say no, we can say no, and then there's a choice there where we tolerate it or not. And so also something that I wanted to point out is that Satan is not the opposite of God. So Satan is a created being, just like everything else. And so the opposite of Satan, who's the head of the fallen angels, is the angel Saint Michael, who's head of God's angels. So those two are actually opposite, and God is above all of it, and he's way more powerful than all of it. And then also it talks about 2/3. There is twice as many good angels. There are twice as many good angels as there are fallen angels. So 1/3 of the angels are following Satan. 2/3 are still following God. So in this battle of good and evil, we have way more on our side than on the other side. And it talks about in Romans 9 here, when God's creating vessels of wrath prepared for destruction, he talks about the reason why he did that was to demonstrate his wrath against evil, to show that he is good and that he hates evil, and to make his power known. And also in verse 23, to make known the riches of his glory upon vessels of mercy. So with demonstrating his wrath against evil and make his power known, like so often throughout the Old Testament, we see God miraculously saving Israel from these evil nations, or when they're conquering the evil nations, seeing God's miraculous power there. And so, and we can see that in our own lives. When we choose to want to walk in his ways and no longer follow evil, we get to see his power in that. I know, myself included, God miraculously set me free from an addiction, and I know several people that's happened to as well, where God miraculously sets them free. And so when we choose that we want him and want to follow his ways, there is power in that and power behind it. And then also to make known the riches of his glory upon vessels of mercy. I think part of that is getting to experience his mercy when we repent. And after we've chosen to do something that's not in line with who he is, and chosen to do something that's in line with evil, and we repent from that and turn back, we get to see the glory of his mercy, the riches of his glory, and we get to receive his mercy. So just wanted to throw that out there. Yes, let me know your thoughts.